Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Gene.
And I'm Mike. And today we're doing the crossword for Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. So, on what I have been confidently told is the Ides of November, did you do the crossword?
I did, and who told you that?
It was some random source on the internet, so it must be true.
Okay, well.
It is indeed the Ides of November.
Mm-hmm. Happy Ides.
Yep.
I thought the Ides were on the 15th.
Not all the time. That's the mysterious thing about Ides. The Ides of November, this is according to the Imperium Romanum, so it must be true. Ides of November celebrated on November 13th were a Roman festival in honor of the Jupiter. It's an interesting way of phrasing it. In honor of the Jupiter, Epulum Jovis. During the festival, a triad of gods was celebrated, Juno, Minerva, and Jupiter, who accompanied mortals as the statues during the feast. I guess they wouldn't show up, so they just had to get their stand-ins.
Yeah, okay.
But nope.
Interesting.
It's the 13th. Sometimes it's the 15th, sometimes the 13th. It just depends on the month. But today is the Ides of November.
Well, terrific.
Did that have any effect on the crossword at all, do you think?
No.
Oh, okay. Just checking. What did you think of this crossword?
I liked it.
I
thought it was very clever.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was a good one for Wednesday because it had a little bit of a challenge, but not too much.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good.
Yeah. And the theme was very funny.
Yes.
So.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm. So the themed clues, the answers were all states of the United States. And the clues were a description, of course, of the state. And then you were supposed to put the state in the answer. And along with the description was a star or two or more. And if they just had one or two stars or just very few stars, the description was kind of a diss, right? It was just kind of like not a very nice place. Like the first one was one across. And it said, rating 1 star. A big ditch in a big desert, big deal. That was how they described Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you go on, and there were, a number of these throughout the puzzle, like 35 across was rating 3 stars. Graceland and the Great Smoky Mountains, I volunteer to visit again. And that was, of course, Tennessee, because that's where Graceland is. But then if you go down to 51 across, there was 8 stars, rating 8 stars. Fresh salmon and spectacular scenery. Go north, young man. And the answer to that was Alaska.
Right.
And then finally, the very last across clue was 13 stars. And it was peaches, peanuts, and pecan pie. You'll always be on my mind. And of course, the answer to that was Georgia.
Right. And
so the revealer. Well, can I find the revealer? Here it is. Was 66 across, which was the second to last across clue. With 8 across, the sources of the 31 down in this puzzle's reviews. And 31 down was stars. Rating symbols as seen in this puzzle was the clue, stars. So the reason it had 1 star or 3 stars or 13 stars was because 66 across was state and 8 across was flags. So they took the number of stars on these states' flags and made that their rating. And then based on how many stars they had on their flag, they either got a really, really good rating or a sort of a medium rating or a real diss.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the theme, and it was quite clever.
Yes.
So, and that made me think, how many stars do we have on the Wisconsin flag?
I will answer that for you because I've researched this carefully by looking at a picture of the Wisconsin flag. 0.
0 stars.
So they should have included Wisconsin. 0 stars. Except I can't think of anything bad to say about Wisconsin.
No, me either.
That's probably why it didn't make it into the grid. It's just like, well, let's see, there's Wisconsin. There's great outdoors life. good standard of living, 4 seasons. Nope, can't think of anything bad. Throw it out. I believe that was Todd Gross's thought process as he worked on the puzzle. Yes.
So, but there were some other really interesting clues in here, I thought. I love 17 across. Old T-shirt, maybe. Dust rag.
Yes.
I guess a lot of people do use old T-shirts as rags, but...
To get that, I had to get the D first, and that was from 14 down. 450 in ancient Rome. I knew that L was 50 and C was 100, and I was sort of guessing that D was 500.
500, yes.
Because I was running out of letters that would work, and so it was CDL. Because that's
right.
100.
400 would be, you have to put the C before the D.
Right, so it's 400 and then 50.
Right.
But I had trouble in that area, though, because of 12 down. Site in the Sonoran Desert. So, first of all, I don't know where the Sonoran Desert is. And if it's not a camel or an oasis or sand dune, I'm out of luck. And it turned out it was saguaro, which I presume is Spanish, and it probably means...
It's a kind of cactus.
It is a type of cactus? Okay. Well, they had that crossing 29 across that was suffixed with Sydney, and the answer was Sydney cider.
Yes.
Except it was spelled S-I-D-E-R. If it was Sydney cider, C-I-D-E-R, I would welcome that as a great drink. But
well, it didn't say it. It said it was a suffix. So
yes.
It's, part of the word with Sydney cider. I have no idea what it means.
Apparently, if you're not from Australia, you probably wouldn't. But a Sydney cider is someone who resides in Sydney.
In Sydney. Okay. Never heard that.
Sort of like a Wisconsinite, you have a Sydney cider.
I guess.
It's fun to say. I wonder if they do that.
Cider.
I wonder if they do that with, is it like a Melbourne cider?
I have no idea.
If we have any Australian listeners, first of all, good day, or whatever time of day it is that you happen to be listening to us on. And if you could help us explain what's going on with cider as a suffix for cities, we would appreciate it. Crosswordpodcast at iCloud.com.
I had trouble with 7 down. Member of the constellation Aquila.
Altair.
Altair, but I got the A-L. I'm like, oh, it's Altair. But I didn't know how to spell it.
Oh.
So I had A-L-T-A-R-E.
Nope.
Which didn't work. A-L-T-A-I-R. Altair.
Well, in addition to cider, I also had trouble in that area with Altair because right next to the I was... So I was in the middle of 23 across, and 23 across was Genoese god, and it was Dio.
Right.
And that crossed with 23 down, part of DKNY. So I know that NY was New York.
Right.
And I ended up with Domna.
Oh.
Because 30 across.
New York.
I don't know. I mean, it's like it's an abbreviation. It could be anything, right?
It's Donna Karan. She's a fashion designer.
Well, she and I just,
and that's her trademark, DKNY.
Donna
Karan.
All right.
Karan.
I take it you knew that.
I did.
See, because I also didn't know. There were quite a few things in this crossword I didn't know. Name of Schindler's List, and that was I'm sorry. Let me try that again. Not
Liam.
name. Liam of Schindler's List, and that was NEESON.
Liam Neeson. Yes.
But and considering all the ads I've seen from that guy lately, you'd think I would know what his name is because he kept introducing himself. But the difference between NEESON and NEESOM with an M are very slight. And so I had Domna and I had NEESOM. Meanwhile...
What's a Domna?
I was thinking it was like Anno Domini. It has something to do with Thai. Who knows? It was an abbreviation. It could have been anything. It could have been Darns or something. And anywho, because I was struggling with cider and the one underneath that on the right side of the grid, Laura in the Songwriters Hall of Fame, Laura Nyro. So, the only Laura I know is Laura Dern. And I'm not even sure if that's a real name either.
Yes, that's a real name.
Good. So I had to argue that 3 out of my 4 letters crossing were incorrect. And I just couldn't bring myself to, I knew it had to be NYR something. So I didn't know the last letter of cider. I didn't know the last letter of Nairo, except I figured it had to be a vowel.
Yeah.
And then I also didn't know NEESON, NEESON. NEESON. So I was having,
You were having lots of trouble.
I was having huge amounts of trouble with this. I was really annoyed at Todd Gross. So it's not Todd Gross's fault, technically speaking, that I don't know things, because I don't think he's ever been my teacher, so I can't really sort of lay blame at his feet.
I bet you knew 46 across, cloud name prefix,
Well,
zero.
I was going back and forth between Zero and Siri. I got to watch it. I want to make sure our phone doesn't activate here, but it was indeed, as you say, Zero. And I sort of solidified the O with 47 down. It was fine with me. It was either going to be ick sure or okay sure, and I went with okay. I had one other problem. I always make this mistake. The same amount of times I make the mistake with NEESON and NEESON. 38 down, common trees in Australia, acacias. I want them to be Acadias. Couldn't they rename them?
Acacias.
I
think it's acacia.
Is it?
Acacia.
So not only do I not know how to spell it, I don't know how to pronounce it. And I knew I was in trouble because I looked at 55 across frame of a film and I had Dell.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, I don't think that's right. It was cell. So it was acacias.
65 across was interesting. What strings of random letters make no sense? I wanted it to be nonsense.
Nope, no sense.
Makes no sense.
No sense made sense to me.
And I also like 43 down. Working on a board, perhaps. Ironing.
Yes. Yeah. And we had 54 across. Pear or quince was a palm.
That's right.
Glad to see that. And then we had 44 down. Pharaoh named for the sun god was Ramses the First.
That is correct.
It's just spelled out as Ramses I.
Right.
So.
That's right. But not Amenra.
No.
Amenra was a god, not a pharaoh, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. He was the god of tricky misspellings.
Yes.
Worshipped by Liam Neeson,
Or NEESON.
NEESON. I should probably stop mispronouncing it.
He might be listening and be extremely offended.
I don't know.
Liam, if you're listening, just don't pay any attention to him.
I think there's a better chance that Domna is listening.
Domna Karan.
Domna Karan, yeah. I just had so much trouble with this whole crossword. It took me like an hour and 3/4.
Wow.
It's just like, I don't have this sort of time.
Wow.
But,
and I thought I was having trouble with Altair.
no, I got Altair right away. I got everything except there were 3 letters that I was unsure of. I felt it had to be Naira or Nairo. That just seemed right.
Yes, Nairo.
Yeah. There were some, that the N of Nairo came out of 25 down, like the outfield walls of Wrigley Field, vined.
That is correct.
And I had it starting with a V, and I remembered before they'd sort of referenced it. Except it's not like vines sort of like crawling up the sides of a decrepit building, right? It's manicured, I think, if I recall correctly.
It's totally covered in vine.
Oh.
It's just a huge green expanse.
Is that when a baseball player is like running full speed, he hits the vines instead of the concrete? Really? Why don't they just put up like hot air balloons or something?
Well, and sometimes the ball
would
gets
work.
Lost in the vines.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
is that considered?
I don't know. I haven't watched a Cubs game in a long time, but I remember, seeing it. We would go up to Chicago to see the Cubs at Wrigley Field, and yeah, sometimes the ball would get caught in the vines.
I think if the ball disappears into the foliage, it's time to get the gardeners out there and get a grip.
And of course that was ages ago. Maybe now they have padded walls for the baseball players. I hope they do, because the vines would not, that would not feel good if you ran into them.
I suppose.
And now, the baseball players, they make those amazing catches.
I thought you were about to say salaries.
No. Well, they do that too, but those amazing catches. So yeah.
Trying to think if there's anything.
I remember the vines.
We did miss the clue about Nevada. That was 24 across, and it was rating 1 star. Sin, sun, and sand, so not worth the gamble.
Yep, that's Nevada.
I thought that was sort of cute. And then they had 11 down, in a better frame of mind, gladder.
Yes.
Boy, that seemed wrong.
They had gladder, and then 54 down, less bright, paler.
Yes.
So they had a couple of superlatives there.
Paler seems more palatable, as it were, than gladder.
I'm gladder than glad.
I know, it just sounds like some sort of an infection you might get. Let's see. I think we 40 down. Catchphrase for Captain Underpants. Tra-la-la?
Yeah, I don't know that. I know that book series, but I've never read that.
It probably wouldn't take long.
I think our kids were too old when that came out. So
Above the age of 1? No.
Whatever.
So yes, so this was a good crossword. Again,
it's fun.
I had to spend a lot of time going through every single clue looking for what I did wrong, but I appreciated it. Well done, Todd Gross. I think this is worth 5 squares on the JAM CR scale.
I would agree.
Bravo. That is it for today. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Thursday's crossword is going to be out soon. We're going to tackle it.
You bet.
I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get it solved in less than an hour and 45 minutes.
Well.
So I've set the bar low. We'll find out.
I mean, it could be really tricky. It is a Thursday.
It better not be another Sam Mazursky puzzle. Not after Sunday. He's got to take like a week or 2 rest in between massively difficult crosswords.
I think so.
But anyway, that's it for today. We'll be back again with our cutting edge of tomorrow's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.